Welcome students. Today we are going to learn lesson number 8, A Great Leader. Dear students, today we are living in a free democratic country. But 100 years back, this was not like that. We were under British rule. So many people fought for the freedom and we got a free country that is our India. These people are known as freedom fighters. Today, in this lesson, we are going to learn a great leader, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was one of the greatest leaders of the world.
Other leaders win wars by hurting others and killing them. Mahatma Gandhi did not use any arms and weapons like guns, rifles, or bombs, and yet he won the war of India's independence. People lovingly called him Bapu or Bapuji, father of the nation. Now, here in this paragraph, Mahatma Gandhi is one of the greatest leaders of the world, and none of the leaders have won wars in the way which Mahatma Gandhi did. What was the difference? Mahatma Gandhi never hurt anyone. He did not kill anyone to win his battle. Neither did he use any arms like guns, rifles, or bombs. But he won the war of independence through peaceful means, and therefore the people of India lovingly called him Bapu or Bapuji, which means the father of the nation. Gandhiji was a man of iron will. If he decided to do something, he did it, no matter how difficult it was. One day he decided that he would have an early morning prayer every day. From that day onwards, he never missed the prayer. Now in the second paragraph, we come to know about Gandhiji, another quality. He was a man of iron will. What is the meaning of the word iron will? Iron will means strong determination. If he decides on something, he will do it for sure, no matter how difficult it was. And so he once decided that he is going to get up early in the morning and say his morning prayers. And after he made a decision, he always followed what he decided and never missed his prayers. The next paragraph. Gandhiji gave a lot of importance to truth, simplicity and non-violence, that is, not hurting others. Gandhiji's dress was very simple, just a loincloth, a dhoti worn above the knees and sometimes a shawl. Could he not afford fancy, fashionable clothes? Of course he could. But this simple loincloth was a deliberate choice. How did he come to make this choice? Now here, my dear children, Gandhiji gave a lot of importance to the virtues of truth, simplicity and non-violence. He spoke the truth, he was a simple person and he always loved peace. That is, he did not want to hurt others. Now Gandhiji's dress was very simple. What did he wear? He wore a loincloth. What is a loincloth? Loincloth is nothing but a single piece of cloth wrapped around the hip and a simple dhoti with a shawl. Now, was it that he was very poor and he could not afford fancy clothes, good clothes? He could, but he did this deliberately. It was a deliberate choice. What was the meaning of the word deliberate? Deliberate means he did it on purpose. Now, why did he do it? Why did he choose to wear simple clothes? Let us see in the next paragraph. Once, Gandhiji was on a lecture tour in Odisha. Usually, men and women gathered in large numbers to listen to him. In Odisha, however, women were not seen at these public meetings or lectures. On making inquiries, Gandhiji found that the people in that part of the country were so poor that their women folk had not a decent thing to wear. Therefore, they kept away from public functions. Gandhiji was deeply pained to hear this. From that day, he decided to wear the bare minimum of clothes. but be it cold or hot, he never changed his simple dress. Now once Gandhiji went to a tour for a meeting to a place called Odisha. Now Odisha is a state in the eastern parts of India. Now whenever he went for a meeting, there were men and women who gathered in large numbers to listen to him. But Gandhiji noticed that in Odisha there were no women for the meeting, and he inquired. On inquiry means he found out, he asked, and when he asked, he came to know that the people in Odisha were very poor and the women folk did not have a decent dress to wear, and therefore they did not come out for public meetings. And listening to this, Gandhiji was deeply pained. He felt very bad, sad for the people. And from that day onwards, he decided to wear the bare minimum clothes. Bare minimum means the least cloth that is needed to cover your body. Now be it cold or hot season, he never changed his simple dress. We move to the next paragraph. Once he had gone to England to attend a very important conference. King George of England gave a reception to the participants of the conference at his palace. People received by the king have to dress up in a certain way. At that time, England ruled over India. Now here, my dear children, in this paragraph, Gandhiji was supposed to go to England for a conference. What is a conference? A conference is a large formal meeting where people discuss important matters. Now Gandhiji had to go there. And what happened? Now King George from England was receiving the participants. The participants are people who participate in the meeting. Now when the king received the people who had come there for the meeting had to dress themselves in a particular way. For example, if you have a party, you dress up very neatly in a different way, and for school you wear a uniform. Likewise, for a conference you need to dress up in a very different way. Now, the people over there in England were very, very excited to see what kind of dress would Gandhiji wear. Now let's see in the next paragraph. People in England wanted to know if Gandhiji would change the style of his dress to see the king. Gandhiji made it very clear that he would be dressed in his usual way. Even when visiting the King of England, he would wear the dress of the people whom he represented. Gandhiji was not bothered by what style of dress the British approved of, so long as the poor people in his country did not have enough clothes to wear. Now the people in England were very excited. They wanted to see now what dress is he wearing, because for the conference you need to wear a particular form of dress. Now will Gandhiji change his dress? But Gandhiji made it very clear that he's going to wear his usual clothes. What was the usual clothes? His simple dhoti and a shawl. And the king received him in this simple clothes. And now he also said that I'm not bothered of what clothes the British approved of, because he was representing India, the poor people in the country. And so he went with the same clothes that he usually wore. We move to the next paragraph. Finally, the king had to welcome at his reception this great man dressed in a simple loin cloth and a shawl. The king himself was dressed quite extravagantly. Gandhiji was asked whether he had enough clothes on for meeting with the king. He replied that the king had enough clothes on for both of them. Millions of poor people in India felt happy that Mahatma Gandhi dressed like them. Now what happened in this paragraph? Here the king had to receive Mahatma Gandhi with his simple clothes. And when asked by the people there whether he had enough clothes to go for the meeting, because the king had dressed himself extravagantly with rich clothes, but Gandhiji replied that the king had enough clothes for him as well as for me, that is for Gandhiji as well as for the king. And the people, that is the millions of people in India, the poor people, felt so happy that Gandhiji dressed like them. We move to the last paragraph. Although Mahatma Gandhi did not use any destructive weapon, he had millions of staunch followers. Gandhiji showed all the suppressed people in the world the new path of Satyagraha. He is remembered for his greatness not only in India, but in all parts of the world. Now here we see that Gandhiji never used any destructive weapon. What is the meaning of the word destructive? Destructive means weapons which destroy, like bombs. He always liked peace, non-violence. And so he had millions of staunch followers. What is the meaning of the word staunch followers? Staunch followers means people who were firm and loyal in following him. Now Gandhiji taught the world a new path to fight for their battle, for their rights. What was that? Satyagraha. What is Satyagraha? Satyagraha is nothing but fighting in peaceful means. He is remembered by people all over the world, not only in India, but people from different parts of the world also respect Gandhiji for his great action, great work, and therefore Gandhiji was rightly called as the father of the nation.
Now let's learn the meanings. Iron will means strong determination. Non-violence means fighting for social change without using force. Lion cloth means single piece of cloth wrapped around the hip. Conference means a large formal meeting where people discuss important matter. Bothered means worried. Extravagantly means in a way that costs a lot of money. Staunch followers means people who were firm and loyal in following him. Dear students, with the help of your parents, you can gather some information about the great men and women of our country. Lokmanya Tilak was one of them. Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. The person who asserted this was Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was born in 1856. At that time, the British ruled over India. People did not like this British rule. They agitated against the British government. Lokmanya Tilak inspired a national spirit among the people. For that purpose, he organized public celebrations of Ganeshotsav and Shiva Jayanti. In his papers Kesari and Maratha, he boldly criticized the government. The British government arrested Tilak and put him in prison. But Lokmanya Tilak continued his struggle for Swaraj even after he was released from prison. He spent all his life in the service of the nation. Savitribai Phule is also known as a great freedom fighter, but she fought for girls' education and girls' freedom. Today we see that girls go to school, colleges and excel in every walk of life along with men. But this was not always so. In the past, women and the downtrodden sections of the society did not have the right to education. They were not allowed to work in any important position. Their life was miserable. This was a great social injustice. Social reformers fought against this injustice and discrimination. Foremost among them were Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and his wife Savitribai Phule. Mahatma Phule started the first school for girls in Pune in 1848 in the face of great social opposition. At a time when women were not allowed to read and write, Savitribai became the first woman to teach in a girls' school. To stop her, people created many obstacles in her path. They even threw dirt and stones at her. But she did not waver. She did not give up her noble cause. Her nobility and courage will always guide men and women alike in the course of their life and career. I hope all of you have understood the lesson properly. Thank you.